Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are jumping into one of the most powerful concepts in all of programming, object-oriented programming, or OOP, right here in C++. And let me tell you, this is a huge one. It's going to completely change how you think about building things in your code.
Okay, so let's get right into it. C++ is awesome with basic stuff like numbers, text, integers and strings. But what about real-world things? How do we tell our program what a car is? There's no built-in data type for car, and that's the big question we're tackling today.
Well, the solution is a total shift in perspective. It's a whole new way of thinking called object-oriented programming, and it was designed for this exact problem, modeling the messy, complex stuff from the real world.
So, at the very heart of OOP is, you guessed it, the object. Now, think of an object like a smart container. It doesn't just hold one piece of information. Nope, it bundles everything about a thing all together. Its characteristics, which we call attributes, and all the things it can do, which we call methods. It's basically how we create a little digital version of anything.
And this slide breaks it down perfectly with our car example. See? On one side, you've got the attributes, the data, the facts about the car, like its make, model, year, and color. And on the other side, you've got its methods, the actions it can take, like accelerate or brake. This is the core idea, bundling the what it is with the what it does. Okay, cool. So we can imagine one car. But what happens when you need hundreds or thousands? You're not going to write all that out by hand every single time, right? We need a template, a master plan to make sure every car we build is consistent. So, how do we do that?
And that's where the class comes in. It's the absolute game changer here. A class is the blueprint. It's the architectural plan that tells C++ exactly what a car is supposed to look like and what it's supposed to do. We are literally inventing our own brand new data type.
And in C++, the syntax is actually pretty simple. You just use the keyword class, give your new blueprint a name, in this case car, and then everything that makes up a car goes right inside those curly braces. This is our master plan right there in the code.
So, if you could peek inside those curly braces, this is what you'd see. We define all the attributes, variables for its make, model, year, and color, and then we define all its methods, the functions like accelerate and brake. Every single car we make from this blueprint will have these exact things. Okay, this is super important to get right. The class is the blueprint, the set of plans. An object, sometimes called an instance, is the actual thing you build from those plans. It's the real car that just rolled off the assembly line ready to go.
So, how do we actually make one? It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Seriously. First, you say which blueprint you're using, car. Second, you give your new object its own unique name, like car1. And third, you just end the line with a semicolon. That's it. And believe it or not, it all comes down to this one simple line of code. car1. Just like that, you've told the computer, hey, take that car blueprint and build me one. And boom, a brand new car1 object now exists in memory.
But right now, our car 1 is kind of a blank slate. It's like an unpainted model car. It has all the right parts, a place for a make, a model, a color, but they're all empty. So let's bring it to life and make it a specific car.
And the way we do that is with the dot operator. Think of the dot like a little bridge that lets you reach inside the car1 object and get to its parts. So if we want to set the make, we just write car1.make equals Ford. Simple as that.
And it's the exact same pattern for everything else. Want to set the model? car1.model equals Mustang. We're just using that dot to build up the unique identity of our car, one piece at a time. But wait, there's more. Remember, these objects aren't just fancy storage containers for data. The real magic is that they can actually do stuff. They can perform actions. We use that very same dot operator to tell it what to do. So we'd write car1.accelerate. Now, see those parentheses at the end? That's the secret sauce. That's what tells the computer, hey, don't just look at data, run this action. Same deal for braking. car1.brake tells our car1 object to perform its brake action. It's just such a clean, logical way to interact with the things we've built in our code. All right, let's just take a step back and see what you can do right now with this. You can now model pretty much any real-world thing using an object. You can define a blueprint for literally anything using a class. You can stamp out as many unique objects as you want from single plan. And you know how to get to their data and tell them what to do. So, I'll leave you with this.
You now have the fundamental tool to build anything you can imagine inside your code. The only question left is, what are you gonna build first?